So hello, it's Miles here, 3SG coordinator, and I thought we'd do something extra special for this newsletter edition. So for this volunteer spotlight, I'm actually joined here by Kerrianne, who's one of our amazing volunteers. So hello.
Hello Miles, thank you very much for asking me.
Yeah, no worries at all. Thank you for all that you've done. We'll delve into that shortly. So first off, are you able to just tell us a little bit more about yourself and things like kind of your job or hobbies, where you live, that sort of thing?
So I think my hobby must be volunteering for 3SG, I'm not really sure.
Right answer.
So I live in Bath. I've lived in Bath since 1999, so I've been here for the whole of this millennium so far. I love the city, it's great. I used to work in investment banking and venture capital, mainly in the tech sector industries, but I do other things now. I have a small tea company. So if any of you have enjoyed a nice cup of Earl Grey up at the racecourse, that will be one of my tea bags.
Oh, nice.
And so, hobbies, walking, because we've got some beautiful countryside around us.
Yeah.
Eating, because we've got some great restaurants in Bath. That's kind of what I do. That and I'm due up at the racecourse in about 2 hours, I think. So.
I know. So we'll have to be quick because you're very busy. So I'm very lucky to have a bit of your time. And are you able to actually? I realise I haven't really described where we are. Are you able to?
So we are in an amazing room. Beautiful high ceilings, fabulous marble fireplace overlooking George Street. We're upstairs at the Persephone booksellers, which for those of you who know Bath quite well is just overlooking the share and repair store.
Exactly, which is opposite Wagamama's basically. If you like your you like your food. So just on George Street. So we're very lucky to have this space, and
Yes, Kirsten was very kind enough to let us use it, and it is beautiful. It's so light and airy. It's such a lovely space.
Yeah, no, definitely. So we'll hopefully be doing more up here by the sounds of it, because the space is open to local community groups and charities. So awesome. So wanted to sort of ask how you got involved with 3SG and the kind of compassionate community movement that we launched at the beginning of the pandemic.
So when we all went into the first lockdown last year, our road where I live is quite small, and Camden, we're part of the Camden Residents Association, but so Camden did putting a flyer through everyone's door, getting volunteers to do the shopping and things like that, like 3SG carried out. But we also in our road kind of made sure all of our local neighbours and everything were looked after. And then as things started to open up a bit and the vaccination centres came online, I saw some adverts for volunteers, and I thought I could do that, but I want to make sure my mum's safe first. So I waited till my mum had had her jab. And then I signed up, and I was lucky enough to get in while you were doing some inductions. So I've been doing usually a shift a week since February of this year.
Yeah, no, you've certainly clocked up the shifts, and like so many, I guess you got to know lots of other volunteers up there.
Yeah, so in fact, funnily enough, I did a shift the other week, and this lady I was talking to, I said, "Oh, where do you live?" She said, "Oh, just down the hill by Camden Crescent." I said, "Oh, so do I." She said, "Oh, where do you live?" I said, "I live in Upper Hedgemead Road." And she went, "So do I." And I said, "What number do you live at?" She said, "Number 9. I went, "So do I."
What?
Because we have 2 number 9s in our road.
No way.
We do, yeah. So she's in one of the cottages just further along, but she's at number 9 and I'm at number 9, and we literally live like a few hundred yards from one another, and we both have cats.
That must be amazing. Surely, when you're getting things delivered to you, it must be a nightmare.
I have to say, at Christmas, my hallway tends to look a little bit like an extension of the post office, because I'm usually the one who's in. So I'm usually the one who takes in all the parcels for the neighbours who are out.
I was going to say, that's brilliant. So I mean, this is quite a broad question, and there's probably a million things that you could say, but what would you say you've sort of learned from your experience of volunteering up there?
I'd have to say that one of my most favourite things I've learned is just how giving the community in the area is. So I volunteer alongside some other great people who I know go up, once a week as well. Friends of mine, and also just other people I've never met before. They're all really lovely. And also you see behind the scenes that just how much effort has gone in by people like Michelle, the coordinator up there, and the NHS teams. Nigel, who looks after the administration, all of those people all working together to get the most efficient delivery of the vaccine to as many people as possible, as fast as possible. I'm sure there's people out there who remember the days when it's taken 2 hours from turnstile to getting back in their car. But there have been days when it's been 15 minutes.
Yeah.
So, and the constant checking, have we got this right? Have we got this right? How can we do it better? How can we do it more efficiently? Watching that, because I don't work in the NHS, so seeing the very dedicated NHS team and all the people around them, that's been fascinating, absolutely fascinating.
Yeah, no, I think it is absolutely amazing, and that kind of, all of you up there are playing a key role in, without any one part of those...
The other bit wouldn't work.
Exactly,
yeah.
So the volunteers are always, we're always told that without the volunteers it couldn't run, and that's so true. When you see how fundamental they are to the whole operations, you're absolutely right. So
I also learnt a few skills of my own. So I've
Yes,
learned how to tell a joke to a whole queue of people and get at least 2 of them to laugh. And I managed to get a Mexican wave out of them one day.
No way. Well, you might have to.
We'll
have to make that part of the induction up at the racecourse. We've got some inductions coming up actually with some new recruits heading up there. So
if anyone can juggle,
we'll make that part of the induction. That's brilliant. So. What I was going to say actually, were there any sort of standalone moments, or stories from up there that you would be able to bring upon?
So I think it might have been my second week there when a lady came out of one of the cubicles. She'd just had her jab, and I noticed she was crying. And I said, "Are you all right?" And she was just so relieved. And that was kind of one of the first really emotional moments where you kind of go, wow. This isn't just me standing here going, if you could just take a seat over there, and although what we do, we're a touch point for such a small amount of time in the main, but it really made a massive difference. Another lady said that she couldn't wait to see her grandchildren. That was when, there was still a lockdown and people were still kind of staying at home. And then we had a young girl coming in when they opened it up to the younger generation, and she was sobbing. She didn't want her mum was there with her, and she was so frightened.
Yeah.
And we fast tracked her around so she didn't have to queue for too long. And as she left, I was right at the front of reception, and as she left and she was leaving, she got her vaccination card, shouted out and waved it at me with a big smile on her face. And that was so lovely to see her kind of go from being really very frightened of what was about to happen to, yay, I've done it.
Yeah.
So her mum was just so beaming, and
wow. And I guess that kind of brings it home, and because there are times, like you say, when it's very quiet at the racecourse, and sometimes if you're going up there every week, it's kind of those moments that you really think, wow, this is why I do it. And that's got those. I bet every volunteer up there has probably had
when you talk to them, and you say, I remember this woman. You go, oh yeah, I remember this guy.
Yeah.
That everyone's met somebody who has a story to tell. And they are. I know sometimes it seems like a warren. There's, you come in through the turnstile, then you walk, and then you go through one room, and then off and round, and then, and we do what we can to. Make it a pleasant experience. I mean, I know someone's going to stick a pin in you at some point, but
that's the inevitable. But
if I'm on the door to the marquee, it's like, welcome to the Pleasure Dome, come on in, and try and kind of make them feel a little bit more relaxed, because it's
a clinic. That's the thing, is I think, like we've always said at the start, the volunteers are there to, they're there on so many different levels, but one of the most basic ones is being that personable human element to make what can be very daunting prospect for a lot of people, that clinical environment, actually something that's really warm and welcoming.
I think also because it is there's so many steps in the journey. You come through you check in at the turnstile, and then you come on in. And that at that point, if you're feeling very brave, you think, yes, that's fine, I can do this. Then you get to the next doorway, and you've got to go through another door. And so from the journey of the person coming in and walking through, there's a lot to take in. And so I think our role is also to make sure we identify anybody who is perhaps struggling with that journey and highlight them to the clinical team or to the team leader, and then, as I say, we get them fast tracked through. We're not there to cause distress. We're there to get them through the process as fast as possible. You know, keep the door open without hopefully chilling the people in, because we've had a wonderful summer, but the cold, those cold winds are coming now.
It's coming. Right, so thanks so much, Kerrianne. So we've got a bit of a light-hearted one to finish off. So if you could tell us sort of one food or drink that you could not live without.
Tea. Tea. I have to say, having a tea company is like having your own sweet shop if you like chocolate, sort of thing. And I drink a lot of tea.
Wow.
And I do love tea, which is why I always make sure there's plenty of tea bags at the vaccination centre.
I think you managed to win the award for the most amount of times to say tea in a sentence as well. That's just how much the very most British answer possible, I reckon.
It is. It's lovely. I love it. I'm going to go and have a cup of tea now.
Oh, amazing. Well, you definitely deserve it, and you'll need that caffeine when you're up at the racecourse later. So thanks so much for joining me, and really good luck in your shift this afternoon.
Hopefully it'll be nice and busy. We get lots of people through, get everyone into their boosters.
All right then, thanks, Kerrianne. Bye.
Cheers, bye.